Hi there, I'm Karen Roby with this week's Jason versus Jason. Now, we're talking about Google, and they're hitting the market with more affordable smartphones and expanding the availability. Jason Perlow, Jason Cipriani with me here to talk about this, give us some thoughts on it. Let's start with you, Jason Perlow. What's your take on this?
Well, I think it's encouraging that Google has released a less expensive phone. It's about $400 less than the previous offerings with the Pixel 3 that was released in late 2018. I think it was in October or so. So it hasn't been long since they released their last batch of phones, but I think that, I think Google is realizing that they need to get their customer experience into a less expensive device to get the general public to realize that, the purest Google phone experience is the one that everybody should get out of Android, rather than getting it from an ODM or an OEM that adds their enhancements and changes to it. That's kind of created this hell stew that they've created of all these different flavors of phones and interfaces and changes that makes one Android phone completely different from another because of what a vendor wants to do to it.
All right, and Jason Cipriani, I know you have some different thoughts on this. What do you think?
Yeah, and I do agree with Jason Perlow on one point, in that it is a good idea for Google to move into the lower tier market of phones and cut down on price. But where I have questions is in their approach and their commitment to actually seeing it through. And what I mean by that is, for the past few years, the Pixel line has been out, and Verizon has been the exclusive US retail carrier, unofficially, officially, because you could still buy the phone unlocked directly from Google. Exclusives for smartphones have gone out the window for years. They haven't been a main thing since, after the iPhone and a few releases after that, the partnership there with AT&T. So the exclusive for the Pixel and Verizon never truly made sense if Google wanted to maximize sales and really push the Pixel line forward. Well, now with the Pixel 3a and 3a XL, they've expanded to T-Mobile and Sprint. And not only have they expanded the new cheaper phones, but they've expanded the Pixel 3 and the Pixel 3 XL as well. But yet, I have not seen a single commercial to let me know that those phones are now available across more carriers. AT&T deal is still in the works from what Google said. So that's still going to come. Maybe they're waiting for that. But if you go to the Google store right now online and try to buy a Pixel 3a XL, the same three options are available for you if you're going to buy one. There is an unlocked model, a Verizon model, and a Google Fi model. These phones are available on multiple carriers, and yet they're advertising it the same way they have for the past few years. And most consumers, when they see unlocked model, aren't going to link that to T-Mobile or Sprint or AT&T. They're going to see Verizon right in the middle and assume it's not available for their carrier. That commitment of actually pushing forward that narrative that the phone is available in more places just really isn't there.
All right, interesting perspective there. Jason Perlow, any thoughts on what he was saying on Google's ability to market this?
Well, the carrier situation has not changed, right? And I think a lot of it is because, we've had different types of carrier technologies in use for the last 5 or 10 years. That's changing, right? So basically everyone has now moved to LTE. There's no CDMA infrastructure left at Verizon. As we move to 5G over the next 2 years, that's going to make those those differences even less of an issue, because you'll be able to move from carrier to carrier. The other issue is, I believe, the whole idea of locking people down to carriers, having these special deals and things. These things are going to become a thing of the past. People are going to want carrier agnosticity. They're going to want to move between things. And I think that Google is probably going to continue to push their Fi option more, and direct sales even more towards, look, remember back in the day when, you could only get computers from computer stores, and then Dell came out with direct sales. I think direct sales is going to be a lot more of a legitimate way to buy phones, especially through large online retailers such as Amazon. So I don't think that the carrier locking situation is going to be as much of an issue as it used to be. As far as their wherewithal to take it through, yeah, I do agree with Jason that, in the past, Google has not really made as much of an effort. Let's take a look at their Android One offering, which in essence could give every single phone manufacturer the ability to make a purist Google phone. They have not done this for a number of reasons. I think Google, if they're going to make a go of this, are going to have to make some disruptions to their partner ecosystem. That may mean reducing the number of partners or forcing certain licensing conditions to partners to make sure that they offer a more purist experience. I think that's potentially something that could happen now that Google has come out with their lower price phone. That is going to make it more compelling to end users to when they look at the whole suite of offerings that are available to them.
Yeah, and in terms of implications for the future, guys, what do you all think here? Jason, Cipriani, thoughts there?
Well, I think that first of all, most of the smartphone sales in the U.S. are done in carrier stores. So those partnerships and the direct-to-sell stuff we've heard for the last few years since the Nexus line came out from Google, they're going to go direct to consumers, cut out the middleman, save money. It never has really truly taken off. So I think the carrier partnerships still need to be pushed forward and be at the forefront of their marketing. Outside of that, they need to get more realistic about the fact that they are competing with Samsung and Motorola and OnePlus, who just announced the OnePlus 7 Pro, which looks amazing, is not much more expensive than the 3A or the 3A XL. And it's right in line actually with the 3 XL, which is Google's flagship phone. And they need to be comfortable in the fact that they are competing directly with their partners. Android as a whole is open. Anyone can license it. Maybe they do work out some different licensing as they get more competitive. But I think the main key for Google pushing forward is just getting the message across that these phones are available in a far wider area than they currently market it as.
Yeah, got to get that message out there, certainly. Now, any final thoughts from you there, Jason Perlow?
Well, I think this precedent for a vendor, a large technology company coming out with their own brand of products when they've already established a large partner ecosystem. You take a look at what Microsoft has done successfully with Surface. Back in 2012, when Microsoft introduced Surface, even I thought that it was a stupid thing for Microsoft to do, considering what a huge partner ecosystem they had with all the PC manufacturers, with HP, with Dell, with Lenovo, it's Asus, et cetera, that were 90-something% of the market, right? Accepting Apple's own offerings. And what could Microsoft do to differentiate? Well, they came out with this special form factor with a detachable keyboard. They ended up making better hardware than the rest of their partners. And then because of that competition for creating their own brand of products, I believe that the partners actually eventually did come out with better products on their own. So maybe this is what Google's trying to do. Maybe they're trying to instigate some substantive change in their partner ecosystem, which I think has to be done regardless, right? Because I think the partners are out of control. They're not differentiating from each other. They're very expensive devices. And as we know, the smartphone industry's sales have plateaued across all the vendors. So maybe this is a way of initiating change from within by showing them an example of what a good Google Experience phone should be and what price point it should come out at.
All right, some great thoughts and opinions, guys. We appreciate that. We'll see you next time for Jason versus Jason. Thanks for watching.